Imagine if you could rewind Earth's history like a movie. Not hundreds, not thousands, but billions of years. You'd witness events so rare that some happened only once in the entire history of our planet. Events that wiped out nearly all life, froze the world from pole to pole, poisoned the atmosphere, and created the exact conditions that made humans possible. If just one of these events had never happened, you wouldn't exist. Today, we're counting down the 10 rarest events that completely transformed Earth forever. Let's begin. 10. The Younger Dryas. Around 12,900 years ago, as the last ice age was ending, the climate suddenly reversed. Within decades, temperatures skyrocketed downward. Forests died, glaciers advanced, and ecosystems collapsed, fueled by a massive flood of fresh water disrupting ocean currents or a sudden cosmic impact. The planet plunged back into a deep freeze. For early humans, this wasn't just cold weather. It was an abrupt, brutal fight for survival. 9. A supervolcano eruption. Regular volcanoes reshape mountains. Supervolcanoes reshape civilizations. 74,000 years ago, the Toba supereruption in Indonesia blasted thousands of cubic kilometers of ash into the sky, choking out the sun and triggering a global volcanic winter. It triggered a massive population bottleneck, nearly wiping out early humans. If it happened today, global agriculture and civilization would collapse in weeks. 8. Earth's magnetic poles reverse. Earth's invisible magnetic shield is the only thing protecting us from deadly space radiation. But every few 100,000 years, that shield does something terrifying. It flips completely. North becomes south. South becomes north. The process takes thousands of years, cracking and weakening our radiation barrier. It's a bizarre, recurring instability engineered into the very core of our planet. 7. A nearby supernova. Every atom of iron in your blood was forged inside an exploding star, and sometimes those explosions happen right on our doorstep. Scientists found radioactive iron, 60, in ancient ocean sediments, a cosmic fingerprint left by supernovae millions of years ago. These nearby stellar explosions blasted Earth with cosmic radiation, altering our atmosphere and mutating life. 6. The Great Oxygenation Event. 2.4 billion years ago, Earth's atmosphere contained zero oxygen. Then, tiny microbes evolved photosynthesis. They began pumping out oxygen, which was actually a deadly poison to almost all existing life. It caused the world's first mass extinction, wiping out entire ecosystems. But this toxic catastrophe paved the way for complex life, animals, and ultimately, us. 5. Snowball Earth. Imagine looking at Earth from space and seeing nothing but a giant, blinding white cue ball. Between 720 and 635 million years ago, our planet froze completely from the poles to the equator. Oceans turned to ice sheets, kilometers thick. Life was trapped in a global deep freeze for millions of years. Yet, when the ice finally melted, it triggered an unprecedented explosion of complex life. 4. The greatest mass extinction. 252 million years ago, life came closest to being completely erased. Massive volcanic eruptions tore open the crust, unleashing billions of tons of greenhouse gases. Oceans lost oxygen and boiled. Temperatures soared. 90% of marine species and 70% of land animals vanished. Scientists call it the Great Dying, the absolute closest Earth ever came to becoming a dead rock. 3. The Dino Asteroid. 66 million years ago, a 10-kilometer-wide mountain of rock slammed into Mexico with the force of billions of atomic bombs. Wildfires torched continents. Global tsunamis swallowed coastlines. Ash blocked the sun, plunging Earth into a multi-year night. 75% of all species died, ending the age of dinosaurs. But this cosmic execution opened the door for mammals to inherit the Earth. 2. The birth of the Moon. Before there was life, there was chaos. 4.5 billion years ago, a planet the size of Mars smashed directly into a young Earth. The violent impact vaporized both worlds, blasting molten rock into orbit that eventually coalesced into the Moon. Without this collision, Earth's tides, climate stability, and the 2 4-hour day wouldn't exist. One violent accident stabilized our entire world. 1. The beginning of life. The rarest event of all happened only once. Somewhere in a primordial ocean 4 billion years ago, simple chemistry crossed an invisible boundary. Non-living matter became alive. Molecules began copying themselves, and evolution began. From that single spark came bacteria, dinosaurs, forests, and every human who has ever lived. Every breath you take, every heartbeat, can be traced back to that lone, impossible moment when rock and water became alive. If you enjoyed this countdown, subscribe to Cognita, where curiosity never stops evolving.